How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. You know, when I first saw the pre-order for the MAFEX Cyborg Superman go up, I was like, dude, you can't miss this one, because if you do, then you might as well sell off all your possessions and go move to a desert island where you have nothing but a cassette player and Rita McNeil's greatest hits as a form of punishment, because this figure, from the get-go, looked like it was gonna be a powerhouse of explosive awesomeness. As usual with most of MAFEX's action figure offerings, their great big window box packaging looks pretty awesome. Cyborg Superman just hanging out down there in the left-hand corner. Cyborg Superman standing there with a full body shot on the one side of the box, while the other has the name Superman, with the Cyborg Superman just flying around, looking for the next Jiffy Lube so he can get an oil change. The top has the Superman logo again, and the back has all kinds of cool imagery, including the back of the cape, some profiles of the head sculpt, his transforming hand cannon with the blasts that attach to it, and out of the box, really, this doesn't disappoint one bit. And of course we can see that he comes with the hand cannon, the blasts, a bunch of extra hands, both fleshly and cyborgian. There are 4 cyborgian hands and also 4 fleshly hands. The blasts just fit right into his transformative hand cannon so that he's ready to do this. And now that I'm looking at this figure up and down, I'm really wishing that the Hush Superman figure had came with this red, blue, and yellow color scheme rather than the more muted one that he came with, because this is a perfect color scheme. The body proportions for this Cyborg Superman are pretty much spot on and absolutely perfect as far as I'm concerned, and that head sculpt looks fantastic. That is every bit the Cyborg Superman as I would have hoped for. The cybernetic portions of his body look fantastic. I think they're about as comic accurate as you would expect. I can't see any huge differences from the source material. We have his right leg right here and his left leg over here. This all looks pretty good. I really like this. And yeah, I mean, this right here, this is fantastic. I know there are some folks out there who probably wish that the Superman logo on Cyborg Superman's chest here had the darker spot over here on the side in conjunction with the cyborgian parts of his body. I like the fact that the spit curl is on the correct side of his head. There can be absolutely no getting it wrong when this is the side of his body that's supposed to be flesh. As usual, the cape is tucked into the chest portion of the body, so the cape is attached and then they put they stick the chest together. You can see the seam right here and right here, which is a really neat way of doing it. And unfurled, there is a lot of cape here. This is more cape than anyone could have asked for. The logo on the back, while not completely accurate to the time when Cyborg Superman was first created, this is, again, a reuse of the Hush Superman symbol, really isn't that big of a deal. It is nice that this cape is wired, though, which means you can get the cape into all kinds of poses. See, you can see the wires really doing their job there. So if you want to get Cyborg Superman into like a nice, you know, sort of hovering pose here with the cape kind of blowing in the wind, then, you know, you can do that and it'll look fantastic. One thing I definitely don't like about this figure, and as soon as this review is done, I'm removing them, is these pieces right here. They have one on this side, and they've also attached one on this side. These pieces are to be tucked underneath, and they're intended to give the cape a little bit of, you know, height as it hangs off his shoulders, but honestly, I could do without these. I really don't need these pieces to his cape. I just think that they add too much body. But other than that, I think he's a great figure so far. Here he is in comparison to some of his the reign of the Supermen compadres. Personally, I think that this is the Cyborg Superman that they've all been waiting for. At this point, a question for this figure really is how articulated he is. And you're going to find he has pretty much the same as the Hush Superman. So if you own that figure, you're going to be familiar with the huge amount of articulation this guy has. The torso has an ample range of articulation there. Same thing with the waist. Both of them are 360. You've got a great range of articulation here in the shoulders, with that socket in there that really just opens up that range big time. Attached in there, the arm with a ball joint, you have a great hinge and a great range of motion. You've also got a bicep swivel, that'll be 360, and a double jointed elbow. Both are double jointed, a set of double jointed elbows, if you will. Ooh, fix that cyborgian arm, you mean man, you. You've got the wrists with a great amount of articulation. I really think that they're doing a bang-up job with the DC license portions that they have. Bring it on, MAFEX. You've got the head sculpt that clearly is attached to the body by way of that ball joint, and the neck has some articulation as well. You can see that going back and forth. Then down here, you've got ball joints. It's attached. The legs are attached with ball joints, and this is the kind of thing that I like to see. There's drop hinges, and I really like that because they do add extra range of motion there. And this is what I really want to see from McFarlane a lot more, is this kind of thing where the legs, Todd could totally do this. See, you've got the legs and it sits right up inside the leg there. There's a socket. Todd could totally do this, and his leg articulation would be even better. We have double jointed knees for the Cyborg Superman, and they work really well. Look at that. I love that. That is absolute sick posability for the Cyborg Superman. And of course, we have the ankle on a rounded hinge and a pivot and a foldy toe. So now, Super Friends, what do I think about this Cyborg Superman? I think that he is absolutely fantastic. Yes, he's going to come at a premium because he is an import figure. He is a higher end adult collectible. But honestly, this is the kind of figure that is worth it. So you save up your money in the penny jar. Maybe you start up a swear jar and you cuss a little bit more just so that you can put more money in the jar. Anything, just save up your money, your pennies, your nickels, just so that you can bring this guy home and add him to your collection, because this is a fantastic rendition of the Cyborg Superman. Here, look, just compare him to the other versions. While that classic DC Direct, there's no doubt about it. There can be no argument, it's fantastic. And of course, there's the classic DC Mattel version, and the newer, but still holding its own DC Essentials version. This Cyborg Superman figure is the best of the best. Absolutely, without a doubt, when you take into account its color scheme, its posability. The articulation with this figure is better than any we've seen for any Cyborg Superman. Along with the accuracy, the gold medal has to go to this version, MAFEX's version of Hank Henshaw, the Cyborg Superman. Anyway, Super Friends, that is my review of MAFEX's Cyborg Superman. Hopefully you found this review to be an entertaining, perhaps even useful waste of time for the time being. If you have, you know where all the buttons are on my channel that do all the stuff. If you're new here, possibly consider subscribing to the channel. It's all DC all the time, and I will see you in the next one. Have a DC day, everybody, and take care.